Hi, and welcome to your yoga flow today. I'm Leanna, and I'm going to be guiding you. Today, we're going to be working on our lower back, hamstrings, calves, and the soles of our feet. You might want a few props for today's practice, and that would include some yoga balls, or you could use a pickleball, or even a tennis ball, perhaps a yoga strap, as well as maybe a block, and then you're likely going to want a chair, or you can use your steps. If you sit on the second step, that tends to work pretty well too. So go ahead and pause the video, grab your props, and meet me on the mat. So pausing here to connect to your mat and to begin our practice, let your feet be under your hips, firmly placed into the mat, giving you stability. Your arms by your sides, your fingers splayed. Pausing here just to connect to your breath. You're welcome to close your eyes to bring your attention within. You've carved out this special time for you in your practice. So be fully present here, letting all distractions go by the wayside as best you can. Remember, this is your practice. Do what you can. Never push it too hard, but don't cheat yourself either. And always remember, there's never pain in yoga. Connecting to our breath, breathing in through your nose, letting your chest fill up, and then exhaling, let it all out. We're going to inhale those hands with intention up to the sky, catching everything at the top. Grab your left wrist, hinge to the right. Come on back to center and hinge to the left. Come on back to center. Let your hands go to the sky again. Gaze on up there. Cactus your arms down, press on back up, grab your right wrist. We're going to hinge to the left, back to center, and hinge to the right. Come on back to center here, release your hands, cactus your arms again, press on up as if you're pressing something really heavy. And we're going to forward fold, coming just until your back is about flat. Your knees can definitely be bent. We're going to press our hands firmly into the top part of our quads here, right above our knees, letting our booty shoot to the back of the wall. Just pausing here to connect to your breath. Adjusting as needed so you feel a nice little stretch through the back of the legs, the hamstrings, maybe in the lower back. Use your arms to press into your legs to help assist this. Connecting to your breath always. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And we're going to release our hands, come down to more of a forward fold. Inhale those hands to the sky as you come on up. Catch everything at the top here. We're going to forward fold again. This time, grab your elbows, wrapping them around. Let your head hang heavy here. Shake it down, yes, and shake it no. Feeling that little extra release. We're going to rotate to the right, breathing in and out here. Come on back to center and rotate to the left, breathing in and out here. Come on back to center here. Again, shake your head yes, shake it no. Release your hands and right on back up to the sky. Take a mini back bend this time, cactus those arms again. Press on up, grab that left wrist. Hinge to the right, back to center and hinge to the left. Back to center, switch hands and hinge to the left. Back to center and then to the right. Coming on back up to center here, arms out ahead. We're going to forward fold. Again here, let your hands come into your halfway lift, pressing your booty to the back of the wall. We're going to be here for just a couple breaths here as we continue to stretch this out. If you're not really feeling this, you're welcome to come deeper into a forward fold. Letting your body stretch out here through the backs of your legs. Breathing in and out. Knowing with each inhale you're filling up with the breath of life and you're letting it all go. Letting all that extra tension, the things that are not serving you, go on those exhales. One more breath, and then we'll inhale our hands to the Let your hands come on down to your sides. We're gonna start by bringing one of our yoga balls or tennis balls or pickleball, whatever you might have. Golf ball works just fine too. We're gonna place it on the mat. We're gonna roll it on our foot here just a little bit, massaging to loosen up any tightness that might be stuck in that foot. You can make little circles, just being where you're at. If you're a little wobbly, you can grab the wall, or you can even do this sitting down. Another moment here, loosening up what's under the foot. And then we'll switch legs here. Loosening up what's on the underside here. You may notice one foot is a little tighter than the other on the bottom, and that's all right. We all have a dominant side. Another moment here to loosen this up. And we're gonna go ahead and let that ball come on out. And from here, we're gonna inhale our hands back to the sky, forward fold. We're gonna come into a chair pose this time here, pausing. We're gonna lift up onto our toes or one set of toes if that's uncomfortable. Pausing here, building a little bit of strength and stretch here. Again, connecting to your breath. And then we're gonna rise on up. Release those hands to your hips. We're gonna step back with this left leg. Coming into a triangle pose here, letting your legs be a little closer together so that when we lean forward, we feel a nice stretch. It doesn't have to be a super wide stance. Here is good enough. You can always adjust too as you're in the pose. Roll your shoulders up to your ears and back down your spine. We're gonna hinge forward here, folding and bending at our hips here, keeping our back nice and straight, just until you feel this. Continue to breathe through it. One more breath, and then on your exhale, we're gonna rise on back up. Bring this back foot to meet the front. We're gonna shake it out a little bit. Let your feet come into alignment here again. Inhale those hands to the sky, forward fold. And we'll halfway lift again, pausing here. This time we're gonna lift our toes off the mat. For stability, if you need one set of toes on the mat, that's perfectly fine. Be where you're at today. This helps strengthen the front of our shins here and the tops of our feet, as well as our arches, to help combat some of this tightness that we have in our backside. One more breath and release those toes and come on back into chair pose. We're gonna pause here if you'd like. You can add some pulses to build a little bit of heat and a little bit of strength. If you've added the pulses, find some stillness. Straighten those legs on up. Let your hands come to your hips and step back with that right leg to the back of the mat. Roll your shoulders up to your ears. Finding yourself here, hinging forward at the hips, just until you feel it. You'll likely notice that one leg feels a little different than the other side. Simply embrace that. Maybe one side is tighter. Maybe one side has a little bit of a pinch or a pull. If it's a negative pain and not a therapeutic one, you're gonna wanna back out of this a little bit. As you connect to your breath here, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. One more breath. And on your exhale, we're gonna rise on back up. Coming to stand, bring that back foot to meet the other one. Shake it out a little and come on back into chair pose. Pausing here for just a couple breaths. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna forward fold. Inhale those hands to the sky. Cactus those arms and press them on back up. Go ahead and release them. We're gonna move to our chair now, which this can be done on the floor as well, but this is an alternative option. So I'm also going to grab my strap just to help assist. So when you find yourself seated on your chair, you want to be a little bit more towards the edge of it, especially if you kind of have a cushier one, or if you're sitting on the steps. The second step works well for me and my body. Perhaps you need to be up on the third if you're a little taller, a little longer than I am. But you want to aim for about a 90-degree angle here. Being where you are and being comfortable is one of the most important things here. So we're going to just roll our shoulders up to our ears and back down our spine. Pausing to connect here. We're going to stretch out this left leg first, flexing the foot coming up onto our heel here. Now there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can use your strap to pull your foot back a little bit to get a little bit more of a stretch through the backside of your leg, or alternatively, you can just lean forward, getting into the back of that leg. Again, always connecting to that breath, breathing in and out to truly help release any excess tension that's not serving us. One more breath here, and on your exhale, come on back up. Go ahead and bend this left leg. You can shake it out a little bit. We're going to set up for this right one. So straighten that leg out, flex it forward. Again, you can use your strap around the ball of your foot if you like. Otherwise, just roll your shoulders back and hinge forward, getting that nice stretch through the back of the leg. We hold so much tension in our legs and our hips, and we often don't stretch them out nearly enough. Maybe you can take a couple of these poses outside of our practice today and do a couple of them at night while you're watching a show, or maybe if you're sitting at the dinner table, just pausing. And then come on back up. Next, we're going to do a figure four. So from here in the seated position, you want to use your helping hands, grabbing that left foot to place it on your right, above your right knee here. Depending on how tight your leg is here, you can either hold it with two hands, you can use your strap to help support it, so that helps keep your back in a straighter position versus having to hunch over. Or if it is relatively open, you can just let your knee be comfortable this way. And take a nice breath, inhaling up, and then exhale, hinging forward. Feeling this in our hips here, making any little adjustments that you may need. Again, breathing in and out. We're going to aim for 5 breaths here. So we have 2 more at this point. So breathe in through that nose and out through your nose. On this last exhale, go ahead and come back to a seated position here. Use your helping hands to take this leg off. You can shake it out a little bit, place it back on the mat. You're moving on to the right leg, using helping hands to get this ankle up here. Letting this knee be where it's at as well. If this is too much flexion here in this hip, you can also have your leg out and just rest this on here. You'll get a very similar stretch if you don't have that flexibility in this hip to do this. Connecting to your breath here, and then we'll hinge forward, making any necessary adjustments. Again, we'll be here for a total of 5 breaths, so we have at this point 2 more. to a seated position here. And let this leg come on back to our mat here. We're gonna roll our shoulders up and down. And then from here, we're gonna stand on back up. We're gonna move our chair back out of the way, and we're gonna come down to our mat this time. So coming here, we're gonna set ourselves up in our tabletop. So letting your shoulders be over your wrist, letting your fingertips gently grip the mat here. Your knees under your hips and about hips distance apart. We're going to stretch out this left leg out to the back of the mat here. And then we're going to press back through the palms of our hands. So now that our shoulder is slightly behind that wrist as we get into our calf here. Really feeling this, connecting to this, really letting go of these muscles here. Let this leg come on back here. Realign yourself. Make any necessary adjustments if you shifted on your mat. Stretch out that right leg to the back of your mat. And when you're ready, press on back through the palms of your hands. Again, continuing with your breath here. Breathing in and out. If at any point your wrists or your shoulders or your arms get tired, you can come down to your elbows while we're in this. That'll give your wrists a little bit of a break. And bring this knee on back. We're going to take our knees wide, sit back on our heels, going as far as comfortable for you. That may be right here, and that's perfectly fine. If you can bring your bottom all the way to your heels, that's fine as well. Stretch out those arms toward the top of your mat here. We're going to walk our hands to the right, feeling that nice side body stretch here. Walk your hands back to center and then to the left. Come on back to center here. Stretch on out again. And we're going to come back to all fours. And we're going to come around to sit on our bottom. You want to grab your tennis ball again, or your cork ball. Letting our legs go out in front of us here. I will mention, if it's uncomfortable for you to kind of sit in this upright position, there are a couple options. One is to let your back go to the wall, or as we do to start many of our yoga practices, you can use your block to elevate your hips here. This makes this a little bit more challenging, but we want to make sure that your back is comfortable as well. So from here, we're going to stretch out our legs. We're going to use our tennis balls, and you can do one at a time. In the interest of time, I'm going to do them both kind of at the same time. You're going to place them below your knee here on the fleshy part where your calf starts. And you're just going to kind of move them around here. Everybody's different, so you may find a certain portion of your calf is a little tighter than the other. We're going to learn and discover that, and we'll work on that a little bit longer. But you're going to want to feel any knots or any points where you're like, ooh, that part is a little bit tight. We're going to keep moving them down. Just finding where you are, making sure you get the sides of them. And moving on down again. Really feeling and getting in to those calves to release any extra tension that you may have in there. letting go of those muscle fibers. You can move them down one more time. And then we're gonna place them one more time at the part that you felt it the most. For me, it's kind of like the middle point. And we're gonna work on that area just a little bit more. So when our muscles are tight or sore, it's definitely good to stretch them out, but you don't wanna work them too much. It is somewhat of a balance, because if they're already sore and we continue to work on them, they can become sorer, or it can cause more inflammation. So just finding that nice balance where you do feel that release without overdoing it. And it's always good to keep moving even if you are sore, because that helps release any lactic acid that you may have in your body. So we're gonna go ahead and put those to the side, and then we're gonna lower on down to our back. We're gonna be laying flat here. If you need to set yourself up with some props, maybe a blanket or a block for your neck or shoulders, if something is a little uncomfortable, go ahead and set yourself up that way. Otherwise, come on down here. We're gonna start with bent knees. Having our knees bent helps us kind of press and decompress that lower back into the mat to release any excess tension. And we're gonna do a supine twist here. So we'll stretch out this left leg, bring that right knee into your chest. This is a place where you could also use your strap to help hold on to your leg if you like. After our breath here, we're gonna let this right arm go out into a T by our shoulders, and that leaves our left arm holding our right knee. And we're gonna take this left knee over to the side. Being mindful and careful here not to overdo this. If our back is tender, you don't want to overstretch it. So you may not be able to cross all the way over here, which is perfectly fine. Remember, we want to be where we're at. We're all built a little different. We all come to our practice and our mat from a different place. Bring this knee on back here, and we're going to release it, letting it stretch out. Allow your body just to reset here. We're going to bend our knees again to get that lower back into a neutral place. And we're going to stretch out that right leg this time. Bring the left knee in, giving you a nice little tug. Again, you can use your strap. We're going to take this left knee in our right hand. Let that right arm come on out to our T this time. And we're going to let this leg hinge on over, allowing for a little spinal twist, a little nice stretch in our leg. Breathing in and out here. Let this knee come on back to center here, and let it stretch on out. We're going to find ourselves setting ourselves up now for Shavasana. So letting your legs go towards the edge of your mat, letting your ankles gently fall out to the outside. Your hands can be on the floor, palms facing up. If at any point you feel any discomfort in that lower back, you can bend one knee or both knees, and that will help take some of the pressure off. If you're going to bend your knees, I do like to recommend to take your feet out a little wider and let your knees kind of come together so that they can rest on each other. It makes it a little bit more of a restful pose. But yogi's choice here. Breathing in and out here, just connecting to your body again. Letting everything settle in. Maybe feeling the heaviness of your body as it rests on the mat, but feeling the lightness of your soul, the peace you may feel. We'll leave you here for a moment and bring you back to the present here in a few moments. And we'll gently bring our attention back to our present space here. We're going to bring our knees into our chest, giving them a nice little tug, and then we'll roll to one side into our pose of new beginnings, letting your arms support your head, drawing those knees into your chest. Again, connecting to your breath. And then we'll press on up to a seated position. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed at this point if you'd like. But we're going to sit in our easy pose, let our hands rest down. We're going to roll our shoulders up to our ears as we inhale and roll them back down as we exhale. We're going to flip our palms up, breathing in here and out. And let your hands come down by your sides. Inhale them on up, catching everything at the top. Go ahead and bend your elbows, pausing at your third eye, gently pressing your thumbs into that place between your eyebrows. Your place of greater, deeper intuition, your inner knowing, your inner calling. Simply pausing here to acknowledge it. And then bring your hands to your heart space. I want to thank you for practicing with me today. Know that you are strong and beautiful, and everything you need is within. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me today. If you'd like to see more, make sure you like and subscribe and join my email list.